Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood for YouTube, and I'm here to do two Dark Shadows videos here for you tonight. My first video is about why Collinsport for the Leviathans. Why did they choose that as their home base? Why was this the place to, sort of have Jeb, have their group, this be their home base, really? Really, I have to look at a lot of things. Did the Leviathans really choose Collinsport, or did they choose the Collins family? And that leads me into the other half of this topic too. Why the Collins family? Simply, the Collins family were a means to an end. Um, the Leviathans, I think, use many people of wealth and power. And no, I'm just not meaning the Collins family. I mean kings, queens, presidents. I think the Leviathans are about uh, welcoming people of power into their group, their alien group, if you will. And I think the Collins family was their selection. Now, so when Isaac Collins went to found Collinsport, Maine, and called it. I don't think that was an accident. I do think there's something to the fact of you have the Leviathans literally being a part of this family. So it leads me to the question: why the need to time travel? Why pick Barnabas? Why not? Barnabas is the son of Joshua Collins. I mean, keep in mind the Leviathans are the villains. No doubt. Do I think the Collins family were all unwilling pawns? I think Barnabas, for the most part, was a pawn in their game, but after he found out the truth, he became unwilling. So Barnabas didn't want to be a Leviathan. He didn't want to really, embrace this. The strangest thing I find about the Leviathans is Jeb, really. And here's why I say this. Now, I know Barnabas is sort of stalling Jeb, but in many ways, he's not wrong in what he's saying to Jeb. Well, we have to do it by the book. That's what Oberheim said. And I'm thinking, yeah, that is what he said. And Jeb's like completely dismissing the book. And I'm thinking, wait a second. Why? Do Leviathans. There's a lot of questions that surround the Leviathans, and mainly the biggest question I have is not if they're dedicated to the group, but are they dedicated to the actual origins and rule followings of said group? And certainly that answer would be, well, Jeb wasn't. I can't say every. That's sort of the tricky part. I can't sit here and say, oh, behind didn't follow the rules. I can't sit here and say, that Nicholas Blair didn't follow the rules. Nicholas was actually trying to enforce the rules, and that backfired. So why was Jeb so persistent on going against the book? And even when he was Michael, he was very impatient. So why? That's sort of, it makes me think the Leviathan's crafted mold figure here in Michael and Jeb may have not have been as perfect as they believed it to be. Maybe the Leviathans, when they craft one of their own, the one thing they can't really control, and this is sort of, evident in Jeb, is free will, really. And I'm not meaning maybe the same kind of free will you or I have, but from a free will standpoint of Jeb doesn't want to go by the book completely. Jeb falls in love with Carolyn. Jeb marries Carolyn. Jeb destroys the box. But even forget Carolyn for a second. I'll get back into that. Jeb, when Jeb went against the book, when Jeb said, "Nope, I don't care about that book. That's old fashioned." Barnabas said, "You're two, whatever." But Oberheim wanted Barnabas to do it that way. So why? It makes me raise my eyebrow. Why is Jeb so against that way? Or, you know, my only real answer is Jeb knows he's the chosen one, so he feels, hey, it's not about what they want, it's about what I want, and this is what I want. And I think there is a lot of that with Jeb Hawks, played beautifully by like Christopher Peacock. And so why the Collins family? I think again they were just a means to an end. I think the Collins family is just a link in the chain of, or a speed bump, if you will, of getting the Leviathan what they want and where they want to be, which is, ruling the planet, and making everybody a part of them. Was Judah Zachary onto the Leviathan? That is a theory. Patrick McCray, my buddy Patrick McCray, shout out to him, is one hell of a theory. It leads you to believe that Judah Zachary could have been the good guy along, and certainly there's a lot of evidence to suggest that. Now, what's the biggest evidence? Okay, if you read the day book today, what exactly is Judah's crime is witchcraft. But all he has is a group of followers. This almost feels like, and I know this might be a stretch, but when I was reading today's day book, and if Patrick's watching this, maybe he can disagree with me in Messenger or agree with me. I think Judah, in some weird way, was an adaptation of Jesus Christ. No, I'm not meaning in the sense of he was Jesus Christ. I'm meaning here's somebody who had a group of followers. Jesus had the apostles, a group of followers who were loyal to him. Now, Angelique says he was evil, but the most evil thing he does is curse the Collins family who are wanting him to be beheaded for having a group of followers. So it's sort of weird, right? And here's the biggest difference: just because Jesus was about forgiveness and stuff, it doesn't mean Judas Act is going to be about forgiveness. Hell no. So it is interesting that, is Judah the good guy? Is he against the Leviathans? Do the Leviathans realize this guy has power and he could stand in our way? It's a hell of a theory by Patrick. Huge shout out to him. Was Joshua Leviathan? There's a lot of things out there, fan theory wise, that are mind blowing for sure. But I do think, in my opinion, for the Leviathans, this, the Collins family, Collinsport, was all about having some place where they could cement their roots and cement themselves. And what better family than that family? I mean, they're well known, they're rich. It's really amazing how, if there are, because Leviathans aren't dead, Oberheim is out there somewhere, and I gotta believe he's gotta be pissed at what happened. Um, Jeb Hawks, is Jeb Hawks alive? Oh my god. There's the old adage, you don't see a body. There's that old horror adage. The horror fan in me goes, well, if you don't see that body. um, I don't know. That's tough. I believe Jeb, when he jumped, because remember, Jeb was a creation of the Leviathan. I think once he jumps, I think in some way, shape, or form, the Leviathan somehow took him back. Maybe they opened a portal and took back his body and shit. And so that's what happened to Jeb. Maybe he's alive. Who knows? There's a lot of possibility. Really a lot. So I think, really, to sort of refresh one last time, the Leviathans needed a family. Here's this family. They've got connections. They talk to him. Hey, we can help you this way. I think there was may have been a mutual understanding of, for sure. Why not? But as time went forward, because keep in mind, here's where they messed up. If Patrick's theory it proves correct, and it could be, and I'll play devil's advocate with it. I'll do a for and against. Here's the for. And it's a huge for. This is crazy. This is as crazy as I get on this one. Judah Zachary's trial, he curses Angelique. He curses her. Now, her real name's not Angelique, but he curses her. And he curses the Collins family. Now, Angelique says she didn't anticipate on meeting Barnabas. But that curse put on Barnabas's family by Judah. Well, here's Angelique, who's cursed herself. He knows she's going to see them again. Judah knows for the most part, what's going to happen after that, even in death. There's other things he can't see. The Leviathan coming back. Now, some people might say, well, if Judah was pissed at the Leviathan, why didn't he stop them? Help. Why would. Here's one for you. Maybe Judah was hoping the Leviathan and the Collinses would just destroy each other because he's so pissed at both sides. Maybe Judah isn't about a side anymore. Maybe he once was about, okay, I'm for this side, but maybe now I'm for myself. So there could be that. Now, here's the against. The Collinses could have just had a connection with the royal family, and they had money of their own, and the royal family said, hey, go wherever you want to go, or go here, claim the land is yours. There could have been that too. Again, there's just a crazy, crazy world of possibilities, folks. So, all right. That's one video down. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Huge, huge, huge shout out to Patrick McRae at Real McRae. I am going to leave a link to today's daybook in the description box. Go check that out. Really, really good read. Also, go check him out on Twitter. Also, check out at Cousin Barnabas. There's a lot of other Dark Shadows people you need to check out on Twitter too. At Dark Shadows Twitter, at iBarnabas, at Fred Barnabas. And even though he doesn't have a Dark Shadows anymore, at Pop Rag, he's a huge Dark Shadows fan. Let's see, at Lymphica Rose, at Will McKinley, at Nancy Kersey. Trying to remember everybody. At Mrs. Johnson. I'm sure I'm missing. At Willie Loomis. At Victoria Winter. At Victoria Winters. At Weeping Victoria. Let's see. There's a bunch of Barnabas like ones. So I'm trying at Barnabas Knight. Oh, at Angie the Witch. So a huge shout out to everybody. I'm trying to cover everybody. It's hard to remember. I'm not getting any younger. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next video.